Come on.
For just such an occasion, Bill. She's a huge Talking Heads fan. So if they time this out where I can buy her Talking Heads reunion tickets for Mother's Day or her birthday next year or Christmas, man, I'm going to nail it again. So I don't know. It could mean nothing, but
the streak.
Talking Heads haven't done anything official in about 30 years. So it would be cool to see them reunite. David Byrne has had a pretty successful solo career. Jerry Harrison went on to produce for a lot of people. And, it'd be cool to see the talk. If you're a Talking Heads fan, if you couldn't give a rat's ass about the Talking Heads, who cares, right?
Right.
But I like the Talking Heads a lot.
I'm a fan.
So, yeah, it would be cool to see them do something. You figure you got the Black Crowes going back out. Motley Crue.
Mm-hmm.
After 4 years.
4
Rage.
long years.
4 long years. I mean, there's no way to know how many months that is. My Chemical Romance and Rage Against the Machine. And
My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, right. So, irrespective of your generation, there really is something for everybody. But I thought that Talking Heads thing would be pretty cool. Hey, Monday we are doing our last show of the year live in Strongsville. It is the Alan Cox Show 10th anniversary special, and it will be the last live show of 2019. And so we'd love to have you along. You can use the search code 10 at alancockshow.com to give you a little brief overview of what's happening. We're going to do it at Slim and Chubby's in Strongsville starting at 2 o'clock. We'll all be there. We'll have guests. We will have prizes. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we'd love for you to be there. Something like that, a live show, is nothing if you're not there. Otherwise, it's just us sitting in an echoey bar doing a show, which we will do.
Oh, yeah.
Because we'll be there, right? But it is a celebration of you, the customer, as well, because the show would not have been as successful as it has been for a decade in Cleveland without you. So Monday, 2 o'clock, Strongsville, Slim and Chubby's, all of it brought to you by Bud Light. We'd love to see you there. And then we're out of here like Vladimir, man, for like 3 weeks.
3 full weeks.
3 weeks.
It's crazy.
Exactly. We'll return Monday, January the 6th for 2020.
Oh, I can't wait.
You can't wait?
To be back?
No, he's never said, I can't wait to be back. When I go home, I like taking some time off. But 3 weeks is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little too long for me. But the way the calendar works out, that's what it is.
I have
Yeah.
2
I'm not
weeks
coming
on
back here
vacation.
on the 2nd of January. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he never once. He says, I can't wait 5 minutes after he gets to work.
Well, no, I mean, I
wait
meant
to get out of here.
I can't wait to go on my vacation. I don't consider us being off a vacation because I'm still working during that time. It's not like I'm just sitting.
You're
at
working
home.
your morning job.
I'm working my morning job, so I'm still doing that. So I don't consider that like a break. I'm not.
Do you still
taking-
get to leave at like 1 or 1:30?
Yeah, I mean, my hours can stay the same. I mean, my hours aren't. I mean, I
I didn't know
could-
if they made you stay later if they knew you weren't going to be
I
here.
definitely could, and I'm sure they probably would need the holiday help. But
So you're working those like other 2 weeks of the 3 then?
yes,
Yeah, over
yeah.
there.
So my really only vacation is when I'm leaving, and that's in 6 days.
Yeah.
I get excited for time off too. Like I don't have any out of town stuff until the end of January. The last weekend in January is my next like out of town dates, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be great. I have 7 weeks at home. I can get back into a routine.
I don't know how that doesn't give you anxiety.
Well, it already has. Like I've been home for a couple days.
Like even driving locally, like driving just gives me anxiety like no other. And I told you I think it comes from my mom. But like when I used to do weddings, like I still do sometimes when I'm booked, but driving, an hour, 2 hours sometimes for a gig, I'm like, oh, what if it's snowy? Like what if my car breaks down? Like
See,
I
that's-
have like
gotta
a
be
bunch of
prepared
stuff.
for it,
What
and
if
then you
it's
deal with
yeah,
it.
snowy?
that's not the
Put
anxiety
a bag
I
of
have.
salt in your trunk.
The anxiety I have was my empty schedule. That was like when I was like, yeah, I'm just going to take time. I'm going to chill out. I'm not going to schedule any shows. And I've already scheduled like 3 more shows for December because I'm like, I can't take that much time off stage. I won't
Yeah,
be
of course.
funny anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But like at the beginning of it, it was all, let's chill, let's hang out, let's have a little time with our family.
Idle
and then-
hands is the devil workshop.
And then now I'm like, I got to do something. And it's been 4 days.
You think
Well,
the
we're gonna do
devil
a
was
lot
a
of
better
stuff.
carpenter than you were, Poundcake?
Oh, most definitely.
Devil's Workshop, Idle Hands, and that whole thing?
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I was a terrible carpenter. And like I said, my gift of gab, I just talked and people loved me and I passed that class. Either the teacher took pity on me, or other people took pity on me and they helped me.
I'll give you a C if you shut up.
Exactly.
I'll pass you.
See how that works?
I still am. I'm still. You've said it many times, but I'm still unclear how the gift of gab helped you pass a carpentry class.
I made people feel comfortable, and they thought I was funny.
What
and
the hell does that have to do with getting a grade in a carpentry class?
Like I said, either they thought I was funny and they said, "Hey, let me help this guy." Oh, come on, Cody, you can do better than that.
Oh, they would help. They would do your work for you.
They would either help me. They would assist me in my work.
They would do your work for you.
Or my teacher, when I would present the crappy, product that I had, my teacher would look at it and be like, "He just ain't gonna get it, but that's okay. I'm gonna pass him anyways." So you probably
He wanted you out of there. He wanted you hanging around.
probably.
Right? Yeah. Is that a class that people had to take over if
I
they
was gonna
failed
say
it?
they don't want him to have to retake it.
Yeah, I don't think you take those kind of classes, do
I
you?
mean, it was my vocation, so I don't know. I would assume so because it takes the place of your electives. So I don't. I didn't have to, so I don't have to worry about it.
So your gregariousness is what got you through your carpentry class.
Just
In many ways, that's how it worked out for Jesus too.
yeah.
Yeah, people really dug him, but that kid couldn't make a credenza to save his life. And in the end, we all know how that whole thing worked out. You might have read the stories about Lizzo, who is big and black and beautiful, according to her. She was at the Lakers game, and she had on this dress with the ass cut out. And all I could think of was, God, I forget what people were complaining about the dress. All I could think of was how gross those seats are. I mean, at any kind of... You pick a sports stadium, I would not sit on that with my bare ass. But she had a hole cut out of the back of her dress.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that
And she
picture
just
yet.
had a thong on. And so there were essentially two groups of people. There were people who were like, oh, that's disgusting. And I assume those are people who probably hadn't heard of Lizzo to begin with. And of course,
No, I've heard of her, and I still don't love it.
It's weird because we are in a time where you can't say that's gross without somebody screaming that you're fat phobic or
Right.
whatever. It's like, no, I'm just thinking of the gross seat that you're sitting on.
Yeah. You're putting
And
your skin on a seat that people use. Like that's if
Right.
that were Kim Kardashian, if that were like a hot girl, that's still not a great look.
no.
Like
But the other side, but I don't necessarily like the other side of that coin either, which is that because she's a big girl, everything she does is
Beautiful.
body positive, and
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, she has said you can kiss my ass if you don't like it.
it seems like she just put her dress on wrong. Like, that's
She
what it
missed a
looks
hole
like
or
to
something?
me.
I think it's
Yeah.
where her legs go.
Yeah, it's like a head hole, and she's wearing it around her butt.
Frankly, I think this girl is having her moment, and she should do whatever she wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
But if you're going to do things like that, there's going to be people that aren't feeling it. I like her music.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of her butt, but I don't care because once she sits down, I don't see it.
Yeah.
just those seats. You don't
It's
know.
gross.
They're not wiping them down between games. You don't know who spilled something on there.
All sweaty.
Yeah.
Got some.
That's the thing too.
And she covers a lot of surface area,
Got some
so
crease
she's
got that
juice in there.
vinyl like cover on the seats, like the padded seats with the covering on it. That's like vinyl, so you're gonna stick to that.
Probably had athletes crack.
right, and she's taking up more of a seat than you or I would. So she's getting more of whatever might be on
Speak
there.
for
Surprised they didn't give her two.
I'm going to the Cavs game tonight, and maybe I'll also try this and see how people react.
Wear
Gonna-
some chaps. Yeah.
There
a thong.
you go.
Now, Bill, you probably got hairy butt. No, you don't
No,
want
I
to do
don't
that.
really have a hairy butt.
Okay.
I'm
What if he
shockingly
did?
Not hairy. Like I have a little bit of chest hair. My bush is wild, and then everything else is pretty normal.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
When you grab it, you'll feel how firm it is.
And the essence of me and the things that I choose to do as a grown woman can inspire you to do the same. You don't have to be like me. You need to be like you. And this is
Why
who
would they bleep ass?
I've always been. And your criticism can just remain your criticism. Your criticism has no effect on me. Negative criticism has no stake in my life, no control over my life, over my emotions.
I mean, if you're a girl that big, there's nothing you haven't heard already.
Right.
There's nothing you're going to say.
Right.
Yeah, she was in that Hustlers movie, basically naked. So,
Oh, yeah?
she's not shy about it, and that's who she is.
Well, that's what.
It's just a weird thing to wear to, and I keep thinking like in wintertime, but I guess she's in L.A., so that's
Yeah.
not as much of a factor. But I could see a girl wearing that in Cleveland and be like, oh, my butt's cold. I'm like, well, you wore it.
Right. But that's her whole thing: is love who you are. This is exactly who
No,
I
I think
am,
it's
and
good.
This is what I do.
But like I said, I give her an album. I give her one album to be this big. I guarantee you, if she's still popping in 3 to 5 years, she will not be a big girl anymore.
You think she'll lose a bunch of weight?
They always crack. Adele always cracks. Jennifer
Missy
Hudson.
Elliott.
Jennifer Hudson, Missy Elliott. They always crack. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I
She
also
cracked
think
back
that's
here.
I also think that that's probably part of like once you get some touring schedule that's hard to maintain, you just want to be in better shape.
But she's been touring for a while before she even got big. Like she was making the most of her money by doing like small stages and stuff like that. So it's not.
But she's
like,
not running around dancing.
she plays
the flute.
She moves.
the flute and
Does she?
and she dances. Yeah, she does like choreography because she wants to make it seem like.
I mean,
you
she's
know,
not doing J-Lo type stuff.
No, but she wants to show people that big girls can move, and they can, but they just out of
Her
breath
song
faster.
Tempo is all about that.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I
Can't
would
move
think
all
that.
of this into one of those. I'm a big girl. I need tempo. It's
yeah,
a good song.
that's about banging though.
No, slow songs are for skinny hoes. It's a
I
good
think
song.
that I would think that you would not want to be out of breath if your chosen instrument is the flute,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
well,
is a breath instrument.
Not the flute, the bitch flute.
Is that what she
That's
calls
what
it?
that's
the
what
bitch
I've
flute?
heard people call it. Is
Oh, I
The
don't know.
bitch flute?
when she's playing her bitch flute, I just
Why's it got to be a
handle
bitch
it.
flute?
Well, that's like she
does
does
it
like
in a very sassy
because she
way.
plays it in a sassy way. Like it's like owning the bitch. It's not saying.
Yeah, but
she's
every
a
guy
bitch,
who's
yeah.
ever played the flute has already been called that.
But actually,
the bitch
All
flute.
right, so maybe it makes sense. It's
there's
good
a
branding.
song when she plays it. It's like bitch, and then she goes back to playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she actually stops in the middle of her set and says bitch, and then goes back to playing the flute.
You should look at the tweet that I retweeted. It's our friend Rikishi. It's a
Ooh.
Who Wore It Better.
Rakishi.
Rikishi. From
Rikishi.
The wrestler?
Yeah, the
WWF.
wrestler.
Oh. Is that his name?
Yeah. The big Samoan guy.
Yeah. I remember him.
Yeah.
Who
We
Wore
called
It
him
Better.
Rikishi, the guy from Lion King, a few weeks ago.
Rafiki is who
Rafiki,
you
that's
would
who
call
it
him.
is.
Rafiki, yeah.
And
so-
Rikishi
yeah.
is the wrestler.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
gonna have
funny.
to go with Rakishi. He actually
I
has a better
forgot
butt.
about him. That was so gross. Everybody would be like, "Bleh," like
Toasted.
they'd come out right.
Toasted buns.
It's all right. Little ham and eggs coming at you. Hold on, people. We'll pick out your griddles. That's baby making music. That's what that is. Let's go.
Aqualung!
So funny.
Oh, boy. There you go. Ron Burgundy. Jazz flute is for little sissy boys.
Fairy.
Fairy boys. Is that what he says?
Jazz flute is for little fairy boys.
You fairy.
All right. Well, listen, if you like them big, boy, they got a show for you. It's not my. If you are somebody who watches my 600-pound life with your pants down, they've got a show that's going to keep you just as happy. It's called Hot and Heavy, and this is going to be on TLC, of course. I'm surprised that they haven't. There's a lot of cable channels that will rebrand and change their name, and TLC obviously started as The Learning Channel. But you haven't learned anything for a long time over there. It's really been the freak show
I love it.
channel. They should call it something else.
Well,
I
you
don't
learn how to gain a bunch of weight.
I think we all know how to do that.
Well,
it
it's
comes
the
pretty
most
naturally.
streamlined way.
It seems to come very naturally for a lot of people.
600-pound life. That's our jam. Like that's our after dinner.
That's on at the gym.
We watch with a snack.
That should be on at the
It
gym.
is on at the.
That
it's
is fantastic
not motivating.
motivation.
No, it is not.
Really? Why?
Because I'm on the treadmill.
'Cause it's
like,
too extreme. 'Cause
Real
you see
far
them
from
and
that.
go,
I'm doing
not anywhere
great.
near that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
I'll be fine. I
So-
can have another patty melt.
You want them to show my 165-pound life.
Right. You just keep those Christie's Instagram hotties on a loop. Will make me run
I
further.
see. Yeah.
Yes.
My 98-pound life.
My 98-pound life, and somehow have double D boobs and a huge butt.
600 pounds too extreme. You're
Too
like, I'm
extreme.
never going to get there.
Right.
Yeah, I see. They're never going to have to cut me out of my sub-ground floor apartment.
Someone got carried out in a stretcher today out of my apartment. I almost put it on my Instagram, but thought that might be insensitive.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's probably like a medical shaming or something.
Well, because I was laying on my couch, I was writing a little bit, and I heard a bunch of commotion in the hallway, and I wasn't gonna go out into the hallway, but then obviously I can see outside,
Right.
and there was someone coming out on a stretcher.
This is another mole person, or this is somebody who lived up
this was an upstairs person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the upstairs people versus the downstairs people?
Above ground and
Yeah.
ground. It's like inside outside.
Yeah, surface people.
What's it like up there? Yeah.
Is there
Is it-
sun?
I
think
bring
it's the-
news from the sun-drenched earth.
Is it the lady that's got the stabbing cabin?
She's never around. She does not live there. She
Yeah.
only comes there and has sex. I'm serious. She doesn't
I love
live
that.
there.
That's living your best life. Like I want to. Yes.
That's all it is. That's a sex place for her.
Hot and Heavy will follow 3 couples in 3 one-hour episodes. This will premiere Tuesday, January 7th, over on TLC, about people who really love big girls.
These are
Guys who love
average-sized men who
heavy
love
girls.
big, heavy girls, or is it
Yep.
heavy men and heavy women?
I think it's regular men and heavy women. Joy and Chris have been dating for 3 years, and they want to take their relationship to the next level, but they're worried that Joy won't be able to keep up with Chris's adventurous lifestyle due to her weight. So that's 1 week.
He goes to the grocery store and walks to the car. Like
Maybe
that
he's
kind of
got a
adventures.
Peloton. Maybe he's doing parkour. Maybe he's doing other stuff that starts with P. Pilates. I don't know. Kristen and Rusty have been married for 2 years and want a child. But Kristen might need to get gastric bypass surgery just to have a baby, and so they fight over that.
You can be too fat to have a baby.
You can be too fat to do
yeah.
anything. Oh, yeah. You know, your vagina gets
wonder.
fatter just when a regular woman gets pregnant and gains weight, makes your vagina fatter. I mean, you know, there's people who are
Like
real...
what? Like it'll suffocate the baby or something?
Well, yeah, like you don't have any room. Like
You
people...
would think you'd have more room.
No.
No,
It's
'cause
fat.
The
It's
vagina
fat.
doesn't grow; it pushes on it.
But
I
it's
get it.
Push
You
on
know,
the vagina,
I mean,
pushes
peop-
on your
On the
organs.
uterus and-
It-
okay.
They have
it's
those
so
really
unhealthy.
they have those really fat people who need like a surgery, and they're like, you have to lose weight before we can even do the surgery.
Yeah.
Not gastric bypass.
No.
Like we need to take out your spleen or something. They're like, you got to lose weight before we can do that because we cut into you, you'll bleed out.
To a certain degree, my dad had to have that done. He had like a hernia, and they were like, "Well, it was his blood pressure." They're like, "Until you get this under control, we can't do this surgery."
Yes.
I like to call
And
it
he
a
had
hymnia.
he had to cut out salt for like 6 months or something like that, and like obviously other things. But he's actually down 25 pounds.
I was gonna
Shout out,
say,
Dad.
how's he
yeah,
doing?
he's down 25 pounds. But yeah, it's very real.
Week 3, despite being over 400 pounds, Adriana and her boyfriend Ricardo are faced with endless attacks in public because he's thin, she's big and fat. So,
People really
you know,
shout stuff like that.
Nobody.
That's a big bitch.
That's what
yeah,
I'm
one
saying.
of those.
I feel
Nobody
like
does that
That's a
anymore.
huge bitch.
Where would you live? Maybe if you're in like a really small town.
People judge silently.
I imagine they're probably
Yeah, I think it's all
dramatizing
silent,
it for
yeah.
television. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I don't doubt
Passive
that.
looks, for
it's,
sure.
I think it's passive aggressive stuff like, oh, you guys are together? Like that kind of
Really?
thing. Yeah, that kind of.
I don't doubt that they're
Yeah.
getting stares and maybe some phones in their direction because people will probably film everything because people are rude. But I don't think people are shouting anymore. But then again, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I
But
don't
like,
think
would you
so.
even surreptitiously? Would you film a big, heavy person
No,
in
you,
public?
you would
like,
take a Snapchat like, you know.
You would.
Take a picture and send it to somebody.
That's a big bitch. And then
I mean,
you just,
I
like,
would,
caption
but
it.
it's, me.
He's very hypocritical.
You said something about that last hour.
Look at this eclipse walking down the street.
Eclipse.
No, but I'm saying I'm feeling myself.
Joking.
Anyway, Hot and Heavy is going to premiere on TLC in January. So maybe that's your particular fetish. Maybe you like big gals. They've got a show for you. And
I feel like this
Lizzo
was
is
a
living her
thing
best life.
before. I feel like this was a thing before.
I feel like they have already covered every possible point on the fat curve over on TLC. I don't know what there is for them left to do. They don't. I've never seen a show over there about somebody who's like, well, maybe they have eating disorders, like dangerously thin. It's always like somebody who eats rocks or a lady who's
That's-
addicted to eating
yeah,
couch
My
cushions.
Strange
you know,
Addiction.
Whatever. Yeah. Hey, Chrisma Kwanzaa, that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
And if you hear it pronounced differently, you should thrash that person about the head, neck, and chest. Chrisma Kwanzaa 2019 is set to go down at the Agora on the 29th of this month with Bill and Mary and a lot of other very funny people. So I'll have tickets for you for that show coming up. 35192.